Hopi prophecy, a timeless warning of great tribulation. More than any other tribe in North America, the Hopi Indians have developed according to the writings and demands of what may be called a legacy of prophecy. They believed that petroglyphs on rocks revealed secrets that God passed down for them since human beings arose on Earth. A long time ago, the old men of Hopi started to explain and talk about that. From generation to generation, they interpret the prophecies of our time. They said, those who can live on Earth at the moment are the luckiest. At present, all types of matter are in the stage of elimination and purification. Although it will be extremely harsh, having the opportunity to survive and witness what happened in this period is an immense honor. The Hopi settled in the area known as the Four Corners, where the borders of Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, and Colorado intersect. They lived humbly and frugally and produced many fruitful crops. This area is the heart of Turtle Island, USA. Each Hopi clan mountains unique rituals, and altogether they preserve the balance of natural forces such as sunlight, rain, and wind, which reflects Hopi's respect toward life and gods. The Hopi are an aggregation of clans that came together at the center point in northern Arizona during the course of their migrations. Because they're not a monolithic tribe, the sources of their prophecies are fragmentary and multifarious. Part of the lack of narrative clarity also has to do with the secretive nature of the Hopi. These isolated, sedentary farmers lived in unpretentious pueblos, basically stone apartment buildings, on the high desert of the American Southwest. They have looked into the future from their kivas, subterranean communal prayer chambers, and have seen some rather disturbing scenarios. Many times they simply wish not to share these visions with the outside world. The Hopi prophecies have come true. Since about 1950, Hopi allowed some special people to narrate their prophecies in English. The elders spoke about prophecies to younger generations at the gathering. You will see these things happen in your life. In the 50s and 60s, what they told seemed extremely unbelievable, but now some of them have become true. For example, they said, at a certain time, you will find that men turn into women. The Creator created men, but the men will now say, I know more than gods. I want to make myself a woman. These men are able to raise their own children. The Creator created women, but the women now said, I know more than gods. I want to make myself a man. Then she really turned into a man. These elders also said, at a certain time, humans will find its design, currently called DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid. It is made up of molecules. A complete DNA contains 3 billion bases, 20,000 genes, and 23 pairs of chromosomes, for which we inherit half from our father and half from our mother when the sperm fertilizes the egg. People will cut out this human design. Then it becomes recombinant DNA. They also said, humans will create new animals and think they can help them, but in fact they are not. This help is possible in a short time, but the descendants will suffer. Regarding the creation of new animals, these elders revealed, you will see new species of animals, even those that have become extinct. People will find them in different places. They will reappear. According to them, many tribes came up with the same prophecies. One day, the eagle will soar at night and land on the moon. Some tribes even predict that eagles will fly around the moon while many people still sleep tight. This implies these people have forgotten the teachings of gods. They are lost and stumbled. When the eagle soars high at night, the bright light of dawn will come. Actually, we are at that time. The eagle has landed on the moon. It was the Apollo 11 spacecraft, which flew into space and landed on the moon by U.S. astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin on July 20th, 1969. The Apollo 11 mission symbol was designed by Collins, who wanted it to be a peaceful moon landing. He chose an eagle as the symbol, placed an olive branch in its beak, and framed the moon and the Earth on the background. A NASA spokesperson commented that the eagle's claw looked too combative, and after some discussion, the olive branch was moved to the eagle's hoof. They said when the eagle landed on the moon, the power would return to us. They also predicted that there would be huge villages. People in the village could not see the outside. They are swimming and walking in empty shells. The empty shell implies they have lost their traditions and felt empty inside. The Hopi also predicted that after the eagle lands on the moon, a new era is about to begin. There are many people who will leave the villages, regain their traditional values and start a new life, while others keep staying. Until one day, when the sun rises in the morning, the entire village disappears like water steam. The rest of the people in the village die because they refuse to wake up and return to the place they should go. After hearing these prophecies, young generations feel confused and repeatedly ask the elders, "Can't we find a solution?" These elders told them, things happen that way. Although we tell others what we know, some people have eyes but don't want to see, have ears but don't want to listen. If an individual can't be enlightened, they won't believe no matter what you say. Of course we want to save everyone, but we can't. There are people who never want to awaken. However, someone will definitely awaken. The Great Purification on Earth. The Hopi elders also mentioned that Earth will face a rough purification. Although it's hard to survive, if we can get through, a new cycle of life will begin. Many people ask the elders, can we avoid it? The answer is maybe. If human beings get rid of false beliefs and live in peace, a prosperous civilization will come. This hope is quite frail, but we should try our best to keep the situation not too bad. How is it possible? We need to collect and share God's teachings with everyone. The prophecies also mentioned that a new religion will form and can truly bring about unity. If not, another will emerge. The Hopi call this religious belief Pahana or Bahana. According to some documents, the true Pahana is the lost white brother of the Hopi. They lived in the period of ancient America. At that time, everyone had the same skin color. Gradually, they diverged into 4 types of skin color. Then 2 white brothers went to the east and would later return from the east. However, Pahana are not the Western people now. According to Hopi people, current white people are too greedy. They just want to possess a lot of wealths. When the real white brothers returned, their skin color had changed. It was no longer white. The hair color was black. They bring with them a new religious belief, which will punish evil and praise the good. According to another source, although it's difficult to understand, there's no doubt that in the Hopi prophecy, Pahana represents the power of gods, and they came from the east. It is worth mentioning that some archaeological evidence showed the relationship between Mongols and the Mayan culture of the North American Indians. In fact, some typical tools of Chinese culture were also discovered in the Americas. First time hearing these prophecies, people felt extremely absurd, but many parts have come true. They said, we are about to enter a new cycle of life. We need to change our notions and follow God's teachings. Everything in the universe is at the purifying stage. However, most Hopi people ultimately believe that this transition between world ages will not mean the total end of the world as we know it, but rather the beginning of what they call the fifth world, a time of peace for humanity and pristine harmony with Mother Nature. Earth transformation. According to Hopi prophecy, Earth transformation will not occur immediately. It's a series of events, like the domino effect. Things like that have happened before. When mankind turns away from the teachings of God, the advanced civilizations will collapse. This event even transforms planets into totally different planets. Animals will treat humans brutally due to the fall and corruption of people's humanity. The sun will change its axis of rotation. Earth's climate will deteriorate. The temperature will rise, burning crops. Earth will change its axis of rotation. New crystals will form in the air. Changes on Earth will shift the existing continental plates. Eventually, mankind will disregard the revelations of the Creator. Children will not believe or understand the teachings of elders. Children fight against their parents. They are too lazy to work and cannot teach their children to love others. It is absolutely necessary to change people's hearts and minds. No one can deceive gods. Technology has harmed and deceived us that we are progressing, but in fact, we are going backwards, further and further away from God. After this change, Day of Purification is over. The lives of mankind will change accordingly. People will plant crops. Those who do evil will be punished. A new path of life will be dedicated for good people. People in different industries, professions, and religions will get together, treating each other like members of a family. There will be only one law of the universe, or Fa, not the current law, and one language, which is unknown. Earth will be like the Garden of Eden. There will be one ruler, but this person is not a dictator. He leads all people to live in freedom. World War III? According to the classic book of the Hopi, written by Frank Waters and Oswald Whitebear Fredericks, published in 1963, World War III will be started by those peoples who first received the light, the divine wisdom or intelligence, in other old countries, India, China, Egypt, Palestine, and Africa. This war is a conflict between spiritual beliefs and materialism, but materialists will lose. The winners will stay to create a new world, one nation under the Creator. The United States will be destroyed, land and people, by atomic bombs and radioactivity. Only the Hopis and their homeland will be preserved as an oasis to which refugees will flee. Only those who pursue materialism seek refuge. Those with a peaceful mind are already in their wonderful shelter. They were safeguarded. There is no shelter for evil. That time will come when Sakwishukachina dances in the square and takes off his mask. He represents a blue star, distant and invisible. It is foretold in a song sung in 1914, right before World War I, and sung twice in 1940 before World War II, and in 1961 during the Wu Chim ceremony. Many people may misunderstand these prophecies. Words like the Third World War, the atomic bomb, etc. sound extremely scary. However, this is a metaphor, as the Hopi clearly stated that this war is a conflict between spiritual beliefs and materialism, in which America refers to materialists, and the Hopi represent those who believe in God and Buddha. Obviously, this is not the typical war. It is a trial of moral judgment. The war, or purification, that the Hopi refer to is the war between good and evil in each individual's heart. Human worlds will be destroyed when people become greedy, worship technology as a god, fight and hurt each other, and repeatedly forget the ethical teachings they'd been given to honor the earth as the source of life and substance. The Hopi warn us to correct ourselves before it is too late. Live with good virtues, truth, compassion, and tolerance, and follow God's teachings.